America is not free because our currency is a scam. Our purchasing power is totally manipulated by the federal government. And by accepting the status quo, we have traded our freedom for comfort.
This is so awkward for me. Okay.
Instead of our dollars having intrinsic value, they are controlled by the Federal Reserve. And that might not seem like a big deal to you because it's so normalized. That's how the system has been, and seemingly will continue to be. But it is a big deal because whoever controls the money controls society. The only way to be free is to be economically free. I understand to get into the nuances and the minutia of what a free monetary system will look like takes a lot of conversation. But the purpose of this video is to find common ground on why this problem is so big. And then two, hopefully that can ignite a conversation on what a free monetary system looks like. It's not something that any one person has the answer to. It's something that's awfully complicated, but gosh, we have to get better than what we're doing. Right now, we cannot control our government. They can spend whatever money on pretty much whatever they want. Oh, how about $100 billion for some wars that are pretty unpopular? We'll just kind of rush that one through. Well, what are we gonna do? Because they can print the money they need and do with it as they please. I'm in the world of finance, and as I've been engrossed in this day to day, what I've realized is we have just accepted that the Federal Reserve is legitimate, that their mission of having maximum employment and keeping a 2% inflation rate is noble. It's something that they must do, and we're with them, and we like it. But I've come to realize that that's total bullshit. Total bullshit. First off, all that matters in an economy is what you produce and what your purchasing power is. First thing is what you produce. That is our wealth. That's our comfort. And the second thing is purchasing power. And that matters a whole lot. And that's something that's totally disregarded. Our purchasing power is our freedom. It's our ability to take these dollars that we worked for and we put our blood, sweat, and tears to get and use that to buy those things that make us wealthy. If you don't have a system that respects purchasing power, you do not have a free system. And so under the guise of having maximum employment, which is irrelevant if you think about it, what matters is what you produce, not the amount of jobs you have, and a 2% inflation rate, we have given the Federal Reserve free rein to do whatever they want. And the funniest thing is this 2% inflation rate, one, is totally arbitrary, and two, it doesn't make sense how they measure it at all. They measure it with this index called the Consumer Price Index, CPI. And what it does is it takes a lot of goods and services and it looks year over year, what is the price increase, right? And that's what inflation is. I think it's a totally convoluted and irrelevant index. They are combining the production that we're having in our country with other factors that would increase prices, like the supply of money. That's why a lot of people define inflation as just the increase in the money supply, because that's really the only way you can isolate variables. The damage of this charade is clear. I mean, we have innovated, right? I mean, just look at the device you're watching me on. This is crazy. Like, we've made this and now this is readily available. But go out and try to buy a house. Go out and try to buy a car, healthcare, education. What about some food? That's gotten harder as we've gotten wealthier, as we've produced more. That's a problem. We need to make sure in a free society that we get the benefits from our wealth creation. I believe the Federal Reserve uses this idea of maximum employment and this 2% inflation figure to hide the destruction of all the money they have printed. If we look at our current situation, we're a country with $34 trillion in debt, We have 150 trillion in unfunded liabilities. It's clear that our purchasing power will erode. I hope that we can question the legitimacy of the Federal Reserve, question the idea that maximizing employment and keeping a 2% inflation rate based on how they define inflation is really not legitimate. And we find a way to have a currency that has a little bit of intrinsic value, some safeguards to not be used in the way that just the powerful want. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.